Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn the difference between normalization and standardization. So in the last videos we learned about what is standardization, how to calculate it using mathematical and also the library approach using Python, and also about the normalization. Okay, so now we will understand the difference between normalization and standardization and where or which algorithms in general they can be used. Okay, so in case of normalization, it is a scaling method, so both are scaling method. Okay, and here in case of normalization it scales between the range of 0 and 1. Okay, and in case of standardization, it transforms features to have mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. Okay, so that is the scaling method, and formula is for normalization, that is x minus min of x, that is entire data set, and upon the range. Okay, so range is basically the upper limit minus lower limit, or the maximum minus minimum value. Okay, and the formula for standardization is x of standardized is equal to x minus mean of x upon the standard deviation of x. Okay, so this is the formula. Now in case of use cases, in case of normalization, so this algorithms that uses distances such as k nearest neighbors or support vector machines. Okay, and neural networks, especially those using activation functions with a limited range, normalization can be used. And in case of standardization, so algorithms that assume Gaussian distribution or work well with standardized data such as regression, linear regression, logistic regression, and support vector machines. Okay, so in case of PCA also, as it assumes standardized features, it can be used the standardization, and models like regression, it can be used. Okay, so next is use cases where they can be used. Okay, in case of KNN, so basically use cases are nothing but the different ML algorithms in case of this. Okay, so in case of KNN, normalization is often preferred as KNN relies on distance measures, and normalization ensures equal importance of all features. In case of standardization, can also be used, but it might be sensitive to outliers. Okay, one thing you need to understand is standardization is sensitive to outliers. So wherever there are outliers, so in case of KNN also, if there are a lot of outliers, then you cannot use the standardization, so you have to go with normalization. Okay, in case of support vector machine, normalization is suitable as SVM uses the distance between the data points, and standardization it also used as it helps SVM converge faster. Okay, and in case of neural networks, normalization is popular, especially with the activation functions like sigmoid or tanh. And in case of standardization, it can be used especially within the network layers, batch normalization. Okay, in case of linear regression, normalization is less common as linear regression is not as sensitive to feature scale, but standardization is often used with linear regression, especially when regularization is applied. Okay, so we will learn these concepts in the upcoming videos. What is regularization, what are different techniques used, okay, what are activation functions, so I will try to cover those. Okay, and in case of PCA, normalization is not commonly used as PCA assumes centered data. So PCA, like if there are a lot of columns, then it is difficult for PCA. Okay, so in case of standardization, it is commonly used because it contributes equally to principal components. Okay, that means it gives importance to all the features. Standardization in regularized models, regression, that is we learned that it is in linear regression. So normalization is less common and standardization is often preferred. Okay, to summarize everything, it totally depends on type of data, but one thing you need to remember is that standardization is sensitive to outliers in case of scaling, but normalization is not. Okay, so we can use both of them, but remember the use case of outliers. Okay, that's it. And yeah, normalization is suitable for distance between the points, distance between the data points, so you can use it for KNN or k-means clustering also. Okay, so hope this helps you. Hope you got the difference between, like basic difference between the scaling techniques, that is normalization and standardization. So you must know the difference, that is in the formula how it is calculated, and the range for normalization is 0 to 1, but standardization usually scales from mean 0 to standard deviation. Okay, and standardization is sensitive to outliers, whereas normalization is not. Okay, and it is basically preferred for regression models, that is linear regression, standardization, and normalization is for distance points. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the standardization and normalization. Hope you learned something from this. So if you learned something from this video, do hit the subscribe button. Until then, take care. Bye bye.